SpaceX is no longer just a pioneer in space travel, but has now also become a geopolitical player. And that leads to tensions. The current conflict with Mexico is particularly politically charged after the explosion of Starship 36 on the 18th, June 2025. Stay tuned, because we're diving into the dispute at the border, analyzing a mysterious image, and taking a look at the reportage, including some speculation. Recently, this headline caused a stir. Mexico investigates pollution caused by SpaceX rocket explosion. The dispute is escalating and the media are divided. Take a look at how different the perspectives are. Analysis of the conflict. On the 18th of June, Starship 36 exploded during a test at the MESIS facility in Starbase, Texas, right on the border with Mexico. The Rio Grande separates the United States from Mexico, and the shockwave as well as debris flew across the river into the Mexican state of Tamaulipas. The explosion, triggered by the failure of a nitrogen pressure tank during fueling for a 6-engine static fire test, damaged the facility. Flight 10 was delayed until at least August 16. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum spoke of pollution and threatened to sue if international laws were violated. According to reports from Spacecom Bloomberg and others, plastic, aluminum, and other metal parts were found on beaches such as Playa Baghdad. The material was attributed to SpaceX, even if this debris is not toxic. And as SpaceX claims, it's understandable that Mexico is protesting. Nobody wants wreckage on their land. Conversely, a scenario where Mexico sends debris into the United States would be unthinkable. The United States would respond immediately. SpaceX needs to reach an agreement here in order to secure a global position. The activist Dr. Jesus Elias Ibarra from Conibio Global warns that such debris endangers threatened sea turtles. Only 1 out of 1,000 hatchlings usually survives. Vibrations from launches destroy nests, and reports of dolphin and fish deaths increase ecological concerns. But SpaceX denies this. Mexico has launched a comprehensive investigation. While the fact that debris flew into another country across an international border is definitely due to SpaceX's negligence, their claims regarding toxicity are not entirely unfounded either. These are based on the extensive environmental analysis that was conducted during the Stabilis expansion. When I looked at these documents back then, I already thought it was remarkable how rarely this was mentioned in the environmental analysis, which is hundreds of pages long. What does Mexico actually think about this whole thing? Because with the MESIS test facility, the land on the Mexican side of the river becomes practically worthless. A solution that comes to my mind right away is that SpaceX could pay some kind of lease for the affected land and commit to doing something beneficial for the community in the region. In May, the FAA increased the Starship launch license to 25 per year, which further heightened tensions. Exploding rockets and debris are understandably a red flag for Mexico. Back in 2023, chunks of concrete flew for kilometers and crushed cars. The carbon dioxide, 2 emissions of 83,600 tons per launch, and metal particles in the atmosphere make the situation even more complex. Mystery at the Rio Grande. Now it's getting exciting. Take a look at this picture from Rio Grande Valley aerial photography. It shows a grid-like structure on the Mexican side of the Rio Grande, across from the MESI facility. What could that be? Let's do a little speculating. Option 1. Fire barriers to contain fires after further explosions. Option 2. Search quadrants to recover Starship 36 debris. After all, SpaceX has already recovered wreckage from the Gulf. Option 3, something completely different, maybe a border security measure. Let's compare that with Google Maps. The structure has been new since June. A search or rescue operation seems most likely to me. Mexico could secure debris to collect evidence for the lawsuit. Or it's not for a lawsuit, but for an orderly handover because an agreement has already been reached. I don't know, but I'm interested in what you think. Write it in the comments. The geopolitical context. Why this dispute? SpaceX is more than just a technology company. With Starshield and billion-dollar contracts with the Pentagon, it is a military player. Mexico sees itself as a victim of collateral damage and not without reason. The debris threaten the ecology and sovereignty is being called into question. Scheinbaum said a lawsuit will be filed if the investigation confirms violations. SpaceX, in turn, offers to cooperate in order to retrieve the debris, a diplomatic balancing act. The media climate reveals tensions. Left-leaning sources like Ross Story emphasize environmental damage, while centrist ones like Associated Press report neutrally. Right-wing voices like El Financiero support SpaceX's perspective. Thanks for tuning in. Per asperad astra.